How you doing, guys? 2007. Now that I'm baptized, gone is the incessant love bombing, those phony compliments and pasted smiles. Jehovah's Witnesses now changed their tactics. Now came the constant criticism. And now came the attempted assassination of my self-esteem. You see, when you're one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you're not allowed to have any self-esteem or any type of self-confidence at all. And your private life is now supposed to be exposed to the congregation. This is one thing they always had a problem with me. I was never the type of person to reveal everything A to Z at once. I mean, if you get to know me, these are things you're going to find out, but Jehovah's Witnesses never thought that way. I guess the in-house clique had other ideas. Found that out usually when I was out in service. Was out in service with these three women one time, and they were like annoying, no personality type of people. Okay, everybody fits in somewhere. We're out in service, and I guess these two women had a call, so they went up to the door and they talked to this person. This one woman's in the back seat. Not very great conversationalist, but I guess she felt like she wanted to talk. So I'm sitting there doodling with something, and all of a sudden she says to me, she says, "So, did you ever do drugs?" And I'm like, this is a hell of a way to get acquainted with somebody. And I'm like, no. Not my thing, really. Well, I'm going back to doing what I'm doing. All of a sudden she says, "Have you ever been in jail?" And I'm like, no. Have you? She's shocked that I asked her that. And I says, "How could you ask me that?" I says, "Well, I don't know. I thought that's where we were going. You asked me that." And she says, "Well, that's different." I'm like, "Well, why is that different?" She says, "Well, you came out of the world." I came out of the world. Sounds like an old B movie starring Michael Rennie. I came out of the world. Well, I guess that's the way it was going to go. I could tell I'm not going to get along here very well at all. So I guess kind of kept to myself. I spoke to who I spoke to. Didn't speak to who I didn't speak to. Kind of kept conversation light. As I tell you what, Jehovah's Witnesses were extremely thin-skinned, and you could bust that bubble so easily. I just didn't realize. At the time, I didn't realize it's not their fault. This is the things they get from Watchtower. They live their lives in this little bubble. Okay, well, I quickly got accustomed to that. I think it was in 2009. Actually, this has nothing to do with where I'm going, guys. Actually, it does kind of. No, it doesn't. Anyways, well, 2009. Our Kingdom Hall was going to be renovated, so we were going to be closed down for about 2 months. Neighboring town had a Kingdom Hall, only 2 congregations, so they were easily we got a slot there for a while. So okay, what reminded me of this, I was passing comments with Son of Thunder a couple of days ago, and come to find out that he attended one of the congregations there. And that's what reminded me of it. And because it's quite a few years ago now. So we went there for a few months. First night I'm in there, I noticed they had a nice little library off to the corner, and I went in to check it out. And I'm like, wow, they had all these old publications in there that we didn't have, which I'm like, cool. So I was in there looking around, found this laminated cover of one of the oldest Zion watchtowers, the heralding the Christ presence. I picked it up to look at it, and kind of stopped me in my tracks. 2 Masonic symbols in both the left and the right corner kind of concerned me, and I'm like, whoa. Okay, well, I put it down. The meeting was starting. After the meeting, I pulled one of the elders aside, and he says, "I'm going to show you something. Come in here." So I closed the door, and I pulled it back up, and I says, pointed to the cross and crown, and I'm like, what's this? And he said, well, at one time, Watchtower acknowledged that Christ died on the cross. Okay, well, that's fine. That wasn't what I asked. I says, Knights Templar, what's up with that? And he looked at me like kind of confused, and he says, well, let me do some research on that, and I'll get back to you. And I'm like, well, yeah, you do that, Well, a few weeks went by. By the time we went back to our old hall 2 months later, he still hadn't got back to me on that. And I'm like, I kind of concerned about this, and I would kind of like to know. So I pulled him aside. I had drawn a picture of a crown and a cross, and pulled him aside again. I says, hey, have you ever looked into this, the Knights Templar? Well, we went in the back room. He had his reasoning book with him and begins to go into how at one time Watchtower did acknowledge Jesus died on a cross, but further research, they discovered he actually had died on what was called a stauros, an upright pail. And it completely evaded my question. Okay, that's nice, but it didn't tell me what the Knights Templar was doing on the magazine. And I figured, I'm going to have to do my own research, which I did. Started collecting the older Watchtower publications, which actually answered a lot of questions. And even the old Proclaimer's book, if you dug in deep enough, pretty much told me what I wanted to know. Charles Taze Russell's Tombstone in Pennsylvania. I think we've all seen that. And we all have a picture of it on the dollar bill right there. Pyramid with the all-seeing eye on top. Okay, that kind of concerned me right there. And I'm like, okay, is this a Masonic organization? I mean, if somebody wants to be a Freemason, that's fine for them, but this is not what I was here for. And I kind of wondered, am I here under false pretenses? So I did a lot of research, and the Proclaimer's book pretty much told me everything I needed to know. It was amazing, though, over the next year and a half, the information that I would find out about this organization. And any one would basically give anyone a reason to get out. At the time, I really wasn't too sure, but I really wanted to know. Well, this elder said to me, well, just pray on it. Well, I did. And I got my answers. And the funny thing was, the reason I was saying earlier, this had something to do with where I was going. A lot of the people in the congregation thought I was harboring a lot of secrets, just because I was a private person. Now, see, Jehovah's Witnesses don't know the difference between being a private person and being a secretive person. See, I just don't expose a lot because I don't have to. So I was always accused, never to my face, of being secretive. And here I'm feeling like this organization is harboring secrets. So how can you accuse me of being secretive? But, in my next video, I'm going to go on into what happened. It wasn't all at once, but little by little, I found the truth about the true colors of many of the people in my congregation, and definitely the true colors of this organization. But thanks for listening, guys. If you want to subscribe, if you're just coming across this video, and leave your comments, and I will talk to you soon.